Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Frankie B, and look who's back in the art flow. Well, this time around, I'm actually working on some sketch cards. These sketch cards hopefully might make it into the auction this coming Saturday. I believe it's going to be the 6th, but you never know. But I just wanted to just have them, just to do them. These are just going to be black and white. I don't have time for color and stuff like that because of my crazy schedule and because Kajus and Cowboys is calling. So I gotta make sure I stay on schedule with that. But I gave myself 2 days to really try to crank up some new stuff for the auction. So we'll see what happens, you know. Anyway, I'm continuing with the theme that I started, and this will be the King Cryptid character created by Peter Simeti. Really interesting character, really digging the character. A lot of people are liking it. I think Pete's dropping him next year. I think he's coming out next year, and he's getting a bunch of different artists working on it and stuff like that. So I find the character to be very fascinating as a cryptid. Just something definitely in my wheelbarrow, just because you know, I kajus and cryptids and stuff like that. I always consider them in a similar, you know, kind of family in a certain degree. I mean, I'm sure there's people that can debate that, but you know, me personally, I just see it as giant monster, giant creature, unknown, strange beast, blah blah blah. That is what it is. So with that said, yeah, thought I'd do some sketch cards of the character. You know, as always customary, when I first got into sketch cards, boy, it was a couple of years ago. I'm saying, like, was it 2009? I feel like it was 2009 when I first got into sketch cards. I was actually contacted via my Facebook by a sketch card company that was putting out. They had gotten some license stuff and was, you know, looking for artists and stuff, and they had seen my work online and was like, hey, I think you'd be really great for it. And I wasn't sure. I was really, at that point, I was right in the midst of working in advertising, and just, you know, that it was just, you know, it just didn't seem, it seemed kind of far-fetched to me at first. But I was like, you know, it wasn't really like, it wasn't even about because there really wasn't a lot of money to be made in it. Like, my money from advertising was definitely, you know, more ample than what I was getting in sketch cards. But the thing that really excited me was the fact that the brands, like, they were working on some really fun brands. Like, I originally worked on some Archie cards, and then eventually I got to work on The Greatest American Hero. And I, you know, when I first got into you know, into doing art, especially like after art school, I made a promise to myself that I wanted to have a very eclectic portfolio. I just wanted my range. I didn't want my range to be very limiting. I saw many artists who were, you know, who by their choice, you know, decided to sort of specialize in one kind of thing. And me, I was just like, I always felt that you should have various different things to be able to showcase. So if you work in toys, or if you work in animation or whatever, you say, look, I can do this, and you know, because I was like, hey, look, you know, if a job comes up as a commercial illustrator, I want to be able to plant that seed in the client's mind that I could possibly be able to do this, you know. And it's a challenge. And also, it just, you know, it bulks up your you know, bulks up my portfolio. So my portfolio is much more diverse. I always had that in my head, you know, and I would get into talks with various other artists and whatever, and I just was like, oh, cool, I'll listen to what they said, but I just would be like, well, this is what I'm going to do, you know, because that would be my decision. I'd be like, well, it's going to be my portfolio, and I want my portfolio to look very diverse. I want it to be very eclectic. I want it to be like, people can understand that I'm just, you know, I draw a lot of different things, you know. And so, yeah, so with sketch cards, I treated it as a new, like, journey almost. Like, it was kind of exciting because I was like, oh, the storyboards. That's how I was able to make my peace with it, where I was like, well, the storyboards, and, you know, and I'm doing a lot of stuff for these ad agencies and production companies. So, you know, maybe this will be a way in which, you know, I'm working on this, and it's fun, because it was. I mean, let's be honest. It was like you get to draw licensed characters and stuff on cards. You make a little bit of money. The big money really came in the selling of, like, your artist proof cards and stuff. When people commission you, that's when the big money comes in. But, you know, really it was just like, man, you know, and maybe this can be something that kind of can enhance my skill set. And it did. I mean, it got me into drawing much more smaller and getting used to it. Like, even now, like, I'm doing kaijus and cowboys, and you know, and most of my comic projects have all been at, I draw at a size that's really close to what the standard comic book size is. I'm very comfortable with that. I haven't drawn like the 10 by 15 frame in years, 11 by 17 frame in years. I still have like old artwork from the 90s that were the big like pieces of work, you know, that I did. But no, I'm just very comfortable. You know, I started looking around too. I did some research and I saw other artists that were doing it too. And they weren't manga artists either. They're Western artists who have chosen to go that path. And I was like, okay, cool. Guess I'm not alone in this. So that became exciting. So anyway, with sketch cards, my approach to sketch cards was that I wanted to treat them as storyboards. You know, that was the first thing, because it's all about like the mental, like, you know, as soon as I started seeing it as storyboards, I said, well, as a storyboard, I want to be able to get as much information as I can in the sketch card ratio, the size ratio. And so, you know, that was my, you know, the test. And when I first got in there, you know, I started seeing a lot of people that were drawing headshots and stuff. And I said, okay, I don't know, whatever, you know, maybe the collectors won't dig it and stuff if I start drawing full bodies, if I start drawing scenes. And lo and behold, I started seeing other artists who were doing it, and they were really, really good. I mean, they would put out full-on scenes and stuff, especially when it got to the Marvel. When I started working on the Marvel sketch card sets, oh man, those are so much fun. I mean, I remember cracking open my Marvel Universe books, and that was one of the things I did too when I was working with Upper Deck, because I talked to them and stuff, and I was like, whoa, I was like, I'm old school, and I like a lot of these old school characters, very obscure characters, and I like to draw these. And they were like, all right, cool, go ahead. You know, certain ones, to a certain degree, they'd be like, not to draw, because I knew that other people would probably be trying to go for those characters. But I've always been a person saying, you will always push against the grain and go, okay, let me just try these really obscure characters, which benefited me a lot, because collectors were digging it. They were loving the fact that I would be drawing like, you know, Phantom Eagle, or who's another guy. I mean, just a lot of these really obscure ones that people you don't even hear about. I think it was Blue Diamond. That was another character. You know, and that was just me. I just cranked open my Marvel Universe book and just said, okay, I went to house with it. So now, today, I'm just so used to it. Like, and when I look at cards and stuff, I'm always like, I'm more excited. Depending though, let me just take that back. It really depends on the artist, because currently I'm getting, you know, I still, you know, I'm a collector as well, and you know, I do commission other artists to do some pieces and stuff for my own collection. And I currently have an artist who has an interesting style. Like, they have a how can I describe it? It's like they're using dot matrix for their style, almost like a pixelated, but dot matrix, like dot 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 dot, and it's really good. And they're doing 2 pieces for me right now, and they just showed me. I'm actually very happy. He just showed me. He just finished one of the cards, and then he's gonna be doing another one. And it looks good. I mean, it's just headshots, but because of the level of detail that he does with dots, it just works. And so I like that. That was like, okay, that's cool. There we go. All right. Oh, anyway, before I forget, as usual, my videos. This is a oh man. This is a half and half kind of video, where it's me just talking right now. I'm at the 9 minute, I want to just say 9 minute mark. And then I'm going to transition over to hyperlapse. That's where everything's get really fast, and there's some music and stuff like that. I just like talking, you know, so you guys can hear my lovely voice, you know that there's a actual human being that's doing all this lovely work, you know. So yeah, this King Cryptid character, man, he's something. I'm just so giddy just to see so many projects that are just either very kaiju related, giant monsters or giant robots. It's all, there's like a renaissance going on, and it's really cool, you know. And it doesn't even, you know, affect, you know, the other kind of comic books that are out there either. You know, it's just adding another little layer to the selection, the choice that people can get if they want to read something, and an option for some of us who may like those kind of stories. You know, just saw another one that just made an announcement yesterday, and I reshared it on Twitter, and oh man, it's just incredible. I'm excited. I'm excited for next year with Kaji's and Cowboys dropping. That's why we're working so hard right now. We're just trying to, get ahead of it. Make sure that we have enough books in front. I mean, talking 12 issues. If we can make it, that's the tricky part. We're going to really be pushing the fact of people ordering the books and stuff like that. And hopefully we'll be able to do all 12 issues, and the publisher will have faith so that we can continue it. So, that all starts next year. We won't worry about that stuff. Cross that bridge when it happens. I try never to get myself all worked up over these things, until you're right in the midst of it, and all you can do is, But we're both gonna feel better when we have at least a couple of issues underneath our belts. And then plus, most likely I'll be jumping on some other stuff. I know I got a short story with Legends of Log that's gonna be popping up soon, issue 4. And then I don't know, there may be some other stuff. So besides Kaji's and Cowboys. And that's pretty good. It's like my life has always been one where comic books have been sort of in the background. But this is the first time where it's really taking the forefront, and I'm very happy. All right. With that said, thank you so much for coming to my humble little channel. It's like I'm always surprised and shocked when people comment. I'm always shocked and surprised when people want to subscribe to it. I'm definitely not a YouTube personality. I'm just an artist, that's been in the industry for so long, and I'm just sharing my portfolio. This is my portfolio, and just showing you, hopefully that if you're somebody out there who's an artist and you're dreaming of doing work in the industry as well, maybe it'll help inspire you. I would suggest checking out other YouTube channels as well. YouTube has a vast number of other artists out there, and see if you can find somebody that is saying something that's really really get you excited about. But if you happen to come to mind and you look at it and you say, wow, I like what this guy's saying or whatever, then cool. Maybe it's more of a motivational, and I'll take that. If it motivates you, that's great. We all need a little bit of motivation. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't had people in my life who motivated me to go to the next level. So, all right. As always, keep that art flowing.